Good portents, one and all. My name is Andy Silverbeard, and this is the Big Friendly Goliath. We are very excited here because it is Kraken Week here at D&D YouTube, and I just gotta say, I am here for it. I am in my swim trunks, and we are ready to jump in. Before we do, I would like to thank the creators of this little event. What a fun idea. It is just so cool. I hope this becomes a regular thing. Today, we're talking about ways to make your sea monsters, including the old Kraken himself, even scarier, even more challenging, and even weirder. Before we get started, I would like to say I'm going to be pulling from some official source books for this video, and we're going to be talking about ways to make your monsters weirder. But if there aren't any specific sea monsters that I don't talk about and you'd like to mention, please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. First off, the most legendary of sea creatures, that inimitable beast of the oceans that this week is named after, the Kraken. Now, several other videos by much wiser YouTubers, by like Treant Monk's Temple and Runesmith, have already covered the basis on how to make the Kraken a much more challenging encounter than the one supplied in the monster manual, doing things like increasing its resistances, giving it legendary resistances, giving it blind sight, giving it modular tentacles with their own hit point and action pools. These are all brilliant ideas. I feel like a lot of DMs already do them on sort of an improv ad hoc basis at their own tables, so that's why I'm not going to do a total redesign, but today I did want to talk about ways to make it even weirder, especially if you're hoping to make it for a very high level encounter. For this, we're going to go to the Magic the Gathering source book, The Mythic Odysseys of Theros. Now, if you haven't picked this up because it's an MTG book, I get that a lot of people seem to shy away from those. I personally would recommend getting it. It is full of cool inspiration if you're into Greek myth-flavored campaigns. Anyway, in that book, there is all sorts of cool art, but the one we're talking about today is a Kraken with a name. And that name is Tromokratis. Tromokratis. Okay, Tromokratis. Yeah, we're going with Tromokratis. Alright, Tromokratis is a named Kraken in the Mythic Odysseys of Theros book, and it is one scary fella. I would argue that his stat block alone is not the total rework that the Kraken stat block needs, but what it does have are a lot of key, cool ideas for you to add to epic level encounters. Tromokratis is an epic Kraken that roams the seas, but notoriously vents its wrath on coastal settlements. Now, the reason why we're so interested in Tromokratis' stat block is that they do all sorts of good things to inspire our new Kraken, such as giving it a much better AC, better saving throws, better resistances, better condition immunities, blind sight, legendary resistances, better legendary actions, and then finally, mythic actions. And this is what we are going to focus on today. Specifically, Tromokratis has an ability called Hearts of the Kraken, a mythic trait that recharges after a short or long rest. It says when Tromokratis is reduced to 0 hit points, it doesn't die or fall unconscious. Instead, the damage creates cracks in its carapace, revealing its hearts. Tromokratis has 4 hearts, 2 on its chest, 1 on its back, and 1 at the base of its tail. A heart has an AC of 22 and 100 hit points. It is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks, and it's immune to all condition. If it's forced to make a saving throw, treat all of its ability scores as 10. If it finishes a short or long rest, the carapace heals. Any destroyed hearts regenerate, and the hearts are covered again. Tromokratis dies when all the hearts are destroyed. This grants Tromokratis another level of boss stage, essentially. This brings the encounter from a merely legendary one to a truly epic one by granting it sort of a final boss stage that the players must fight through. And on top of that, mythic actions that you could also use include its rampage ability and its coral growth ability. And just check out how absolutely creepy the flavor text that they provide is when your players get to that point and they crack open its carapace, revealing its heart. The titanic monster's carapace cracks, revealing a pulsing red-purple heart buried amid heaps of blubber and muscle. Fissures run across the beast's ancient shell, revealing 3 other mighty ichor-slick organs. The sea terror thrashes, channeling pain into fury. How awesome is that? Not to mention ultra creepy and weird. It's one of those events that will not only make your boss encounter seem super epic level, it will also not be for the queasy ones in the part. Just imagining 4 hearts hanging around covered in ichor and goo. No thank you. Hey guys, before we go any further, I'd like to talk about something of importance real quick. Much like Trimocritus revealed his hearts, I must reveal mine. And ask that you please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and click the little bell icon so you can get more weird content just like this. Thanks so much, back to the video. But let's say you've got an improved Kraken, you're ready to face him against the party, but you can't just have a boss be all by itself, they need minions, right? But for something as creepy as a legendary style Kraken, you need something much more threatening than the standard stuff in the monster manual. That's why for this, we're going to be turning to another Magic the Gathering source book for D&D called the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Now this is another one of those books that I don't see a lot of people have, but those that do have it love it. It's a great setting. It's got 10 different factions, so it's amazing for intrigue and roleplay, but at the same time, it has some of the coolest art and creepiest monsters in any lore ever. Ravnica has a wide variety of monsters available, but the very creepiest and coolest and most useful for our purposes right now have got to be the Cracies. Cracises. Craci? We're going with Cracies. Alright, Cracies it is. Alright. So, what essentially Cracies are sea animals built in laboratories, fused with physical properties of sea creatures that make them do wild and crazy things. These Cracies are ultra weird and creepy, but at the same time, they maintain traits of known animals. So think stuff like shark crab, gator frog, crocotortoise. But what's absolutely best about the Cracies is that they have a minor and major adaptation table that include abilities and features to their anatomy that allow them to do really cool and weird things that fit with the theme of very powerful sea monsters. They include stuff like bioluminescent markings, the ability to fly, venomous stings, regeneration, acidic skin, armored hides, swim speeds, climb speeds, heightened awareness, ink clouds, leaping legs, stabilizing legs, and more. Now you can obviously use the Cracies stat blocks as you want for monsters to back up your Kraken, or you can use these adaptation tables as homebrew tools. You can make your own monsters and stat them in ways that you see fit, but for abilities, these tables are amazing. They are go-to abilities with the mechanics already built in, so you don't have to, and they fit the theme of very scary, weird, powerful sea monsters. And remember, you don't have to follow what the Cracis stat block says. It says you can only give it a few adaptations. If you want, give it a bunch. Give it all of them if you want. Make it a really, really weird creature. Remember, that's what's so cool about homebrew and being able to borrow other ideas as inspiration. Just because you see a stat block in a source book or a monster manual or online does not mean you ever have to follow it. Remember, it is only there as a piece of information to use as a tool in your game. But ultimately, you're the processor, you're the computer, you make the decision what that stat block is. And that's why these tables are so amazing. They open up the possibilities as to what you'd be able to do, while at the same time doing a lot of the hard cognitive labor of dreaming up abilities that a sea monster might have. Anyways, I hope that helped, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and until next time, stay friendly.